Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. On today's podcast, we've got some interesting topics to tackle, including a follow-up to yesterday's big retro stream. We'll talk about the Virtual Boy and the content I made on it, as well as the internet's response, and a cool review that I made. Plus, we're going to talk about the games that are available in the Nintendo Switch Online catalog that we looked at, because we need to basically focus in and decide which games I'll be playing in the upcoming Retrothon coming up in early March. In addition, there's an interesting thing going on Kick. If you're not aware, Kick is cracking down on bots. And there's one particular streamer that's been affected. We'll take a look at this. And of course, we're just going to have chill vibes and good fun. Great day coming ahead. I'm excited, and I hope that you are too. So sit back and relax, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for an exciting midweek episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Attention! The games are about to begin. All hail the king.
Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, the 18th of February, 2026, and I'm DSP, and this indeed is the Level 1 Podcast. I hope that you're all doing well. A midweek show, meaning we're already 3 days into the streaming week. Certainly doesn't seem like it, does it? But man, time flies. And to summarize the week, it certainly hasn't been a bad week, all right? In my opinion, we've had some great times with the games that I've been playing. We did some cool exploration with the Virtual Boy and Nintendo Switch Online, but certainly it hasn't been the best week ever. We've had a couple of days here where I would say attendance has been pretty good, engagement's been pretty good, but support has faltered a little bit. And I think that that's very simple, a reason why. If you take a look at my lineup right now and everything that I'm playing, it's a lot of ongoing stuff. For example, Hollow Knight and RimWorld I've now been playing almost a month. I think RimWorld I've been playing for more than a month, and Hollow Knight is almost reaching a month by the end of this week. Funny enough, those playthroughs actually are doing really good when it comes to levels of engagement and support. We get a regular crowd that come by for those games and want to see them. So in that regard, it's fine. But Street Fighter 6 now, I've been playing for over a month, and let's be honest here, it's not like the game has improved in the year that I stayed away. In fact, quite the contrary. Everyone kept playing the game. Everyone try-harded. Everyone learned online patterns. And everyone basically plays the same, just like they used to. And the game hasn't basically gotten anything original or interesting going on outside of a few new characters. If you haven't noticed, though, almost no one uses them. Did you notice that? For example, Elena. We've seen her, a small handful of times? And every time we see her, pretty much the person who plays her sucks and doesn't know what they're doing. I think we fought one Elena that was actually good, and it was a pretty good match back and forth because I didn't know what to expect from her. But outside of that, the character's like dead, even though it's a new character, right? Sea Viper. I've fought both goody and bad Sea Vipers, but again, it's a rarity that you would see her. I actually saw a bunch of Sea Vipers in a rare, marathon of them last night. But outside of that, you almost never see them. Sagat. Yeah, we've seen some Sagats. And it definitely seems like there is a pattern that people memorized with Sagat. But for the most part, again, have we been blown away by these new characters? Not really. Instead, we just see the same tried and true, top tier, spamming nonsense over and over. So I think what's happened is people were excited because I had stayed away from Street Fighter 6 for a year. But at this point, I've gone through the rotation of all of my regular characters, right? I played with Lily, Honda, Dalzim, Zangief, and Blanca. And I even tried the new character, Sagat, right? Now that we're through that whole era of kind of, it's something new and fresh, it's kind of gone. And what's happening is we are getting a regular crowd that come to watch Street Fighter 6, but sadly, the support has fallen off. It happened last night where it was actually quite rough to even get the stream to $100, okay? This is exactly what had happened with Street Fighter 6 in 2025, and one of the reasons why I stopped playing it. It's not necessarily always fun to play it. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It all depends on the level of connections that I get. That leads to either me having a good time, because here's the thing, I'm okay losing as long as it's a good match and I learn or I'm impressed. Like last night, there was a Lily player who was a high master. They were super good. They were using combos that I knew about, but I haven't used in like 2 years because I forgot all about them. They were using strategies. I was like, oh yeah, that juggles, that's neat. This guy is really good. I enjoyed losing. Yes, you can actually enjoy losing in a competitive game if you feel like you saw something impressive or you learned something. And that's the problem with Street Fighter 6 is the vast majority of time that you lose, you're lost to a nauseating copy-pasted pattern that you can't fight online because the game is laggy as shit online. It's frustrating. So, sometimes I will have a great time, with a stream and a good time with the audience and we all are excited. And then sometimes it's just rage-inducing nonsense and I hate it, okay? But I think that's kind of the love-hate nature of Street Fighter 6, and a lot of people like that, but it doesn't always translate into support. Last night, first time in a month, we didn't even come close to having a great stream for support. It was just okay. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. So, yeah, is it disheartening because I'm, struggling to play with a low-tier character like Lily, and I'm trying my best, and basically people aren't really supporting the stream? Yeah, it is disheartening, and it's frustrating. So, I think what's happened is we reached the point where it's been a long time since there's been a big high-profile game that I'm playing. Let's be honest, I'm pretty much doing all filler and downtime content because there's just nothing new coming out of any stature. Neo 3 is a dud. Sorry, it just is. Like, I hate to tell you, but the whole gaming universe really isn't talking about it. It's been out for a week and no one really cares. And outside of that, every game that's coming out has been meh or not a big deal. I think the first big release of 2026 will be next week's Resident Evil Requiem. Finally, we'll have a game everyone will be playing, everyone will be talking about, and everyone will be hyped for. And it just so happens that Resident Evil Requiem is also a game that will be notable for me because I am known for playing survival horror. People like seeing me play survival horror. They really enjoy it, right? So I think that's going to be something that's going to be great. And the month of March, actually, is going to be a really good month for games. If you take a look at the schedule and the things that are going to be coming out, quite a few interesting ones, including Marathon releasing, that Pokemon Pocopia game. There's that Mouse PI for Hire, which looks like a unique kind of cartoonish FPS game. Crimson Desert is a huge one that everyone is talking about. Everyone's saying, oh, it looks like it might be insanely good. Or is it going to be a big fail? We don't know. It's kind of like a question mark, and everyone's wondering if it'll be as good as it looks. We've got Life is Strange, Screamer. There's a lot going on in March. So March is going to be a release-heavy month, and I think that it's going to be an exciting one. But it just hasn't been like that this year. We've been playing a lot of indies, and that's good. It's good for variety to play all these indies. But you get to a point where you realize, yeah, at some point, something big's got to happen in gaming, and it's finally going to happen next week. Hopefully, Requiem is good, right? We all are sitting here hoping, man, we need a big release. Hopefully, Resident Evil Requiem does it, and it's a really good game. So, I think that's what it is yes, I have a crowd that's coming by and enjoying what I'm doing, but it's just not the huge mainstream crowd. We'll get that back hopefully next week with Requiem, and hopefully they'll stick around for all the releases that'll be coming out in March, all right? In the meantime, I'm doing my best to entertain all of you with what we're playing, and it's fine. Like, I've really been enjoying myself with what we are doing, but I just don't think it's always going to result in huge supportive results. You know what I'm saying? And when you're playing Street Fighter 6 again and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to have these streams that just aren't doing so well. I'll be honest, I do hope that today's streams do much better. Why? 4 straight streams that were just good but not great, you want to be doing better than that, you know? In any business, it's okay to have a day where you maintain, but you want to be excelling, and it sucks that I haven't excelled in a few days now. So let's see how it goes. You know, Hollow Knight is a staple. We always get a good engaged crowd for Hollow Knight that come by and want to hang out and help me with the game, and we get a regular crowd that support the game. So hoping that happens again today. And of course, RimWorld's been my overperforming stream, where it's actually been doing very well compared to the other things that I'm doing. So hopefully today we will come, you know, get a good day and come back. We'll have to see. I mean, if you like my content, today would be the day. Let's go. Let's get some support. Let's get it rallying and going. In fact, let's do some shout outs right now, shall we? Let's go. First of all, we have Nerexidev, who became a member this morning. Thank you to Nerexidev for the first membership of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard here. And then we've got 220, who did a 100 kicks to get the kick started rolling today. Yes, I'm going to say it again. It definitely has been the kick side of things that has been affecting stuff. I've been getting basically support from the YouTube audience and tips, and kick has slowed down dramatically yet again. I don't know why. I'm doing the same content, and honestly, the views and engagement on kick remain very high. But the people just don't really support, and I don't know what to say about that. You know, it would be great if you are on kick, if you could join as a sub. That would be amazing. If you could throw some kicks my way every once in a while, maybe give some subs, but, you know, all I could do is ask and bring it up. I'm not going to be pissy about it. But I'm just saying, the kick stuff has been down the last couple of weeks. It would be great to have a bounce back there, too. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Let's say hello to everyone first, and then we'll talk about yesterday's stream of the Virtual Boy and my coverage of it and how the internet reacted, and then we'll talk about retro games for the Retrothon, and then we'll talk about this kick crackdown, and then we'll see how much time we have left, okay? So let's see. Shout out to Muckman, Chopped Cheese, The Knight, Copium, Lucky Larry, Nerexidev, Huzue, Eddie. Who else we got? Daniel, Laz, I can't read that name. It's way messed up. Revin, Spooner, Chris, how are you this morning? Who else we got? Smugman Jack, You're Not Funny's here. The Don Toothpick is here. Rose Diamonds, how you doing? And Dab Hands, good morning, everyone. Broden's here. What's up, Broden? Good to see you all. On the kick side of stuff, we got Rodney Trotter, Omega Trees, Very Matter-of-Factly, Spoons, Maxed Out Dumbbells, of course, 220, Shooting Stars Rock, Simple Fella, Large Marge, that's a blast from the past, Eddie Chill, who else we got? Ghost of Willie Two Guns, Very Epic Man, and more, because there's more people there. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the stream. Got a good crowd to start. I'm sure it'll even build up even more over the course of the podcast, as tends to happen. In fact, what I'd like to say is thank you to everyone who's actually here watching my content and is real. I mean that because there's a lot of you, and I appreciate having that social aspect to my streams every day. It's not just me talking to myself, it's me talking to an interactive audience, which is a key part of success in the modern era, because if you're not aware, there has been a large effort by streaming services to crack down on people who are cheating. What does that mean? It means that there likely is a very large amount of people out there who stream and are trying to look bigger and more popular than they actually are via the use of some underhanded services like viewbotting. You know, paying for a server farm to have fake users join your chat, fill it with viewer numbers, but the people never actually interact or do anything. Pretty bad. And it's actually more rampant than you think. And this is all over the place. This is on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Kick, that this has been happening in the last year to 2 years. In fact, people have been suspect of bigger streamers. People who actually are like very prominent right now, like Burnt Peanut, has actually recently been accused of viewbotting, and he hasn't taken it seriously. He just kind of blows it off and jokes about it on his stream. But people are saying for some guy who apparently has tens of thousands of viewers, his chat doesn't really move very much. So, is there any truth to it or not? You know, there might be, there might not be. You don't know. Today we're going to talk about a particular streamer who has been affected negatively by it this week, and we're going to analyze this subject, okay? But we'll do that later. First, I want to talk about yesterday's stream covering the Virtual Boy and the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service, which is their more expensive subscription service, okay? But before that, apparently we got a couple of tips that are coming in here. First off, I just received a whopping massive $50 tip. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. I know what that means. It's time for the briefcase of affluence. Thank you so much to the anonymous $50 tipper showing us the briefcase of affluence. Very nice. And they said, this is early support for Hollow Knight. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that because, again, Hollow Knight's been one of the games that has been a huge, dependable staple in my schedule where people come out, engage, and support it. And I really appreciate a huge contribution like that to start off the show today. Thank you so very much. Very generous and nice of you. So someone tipped $1 and says, is all attention good? Overwhelmingly negative or positive? Can it translate into engagement and support for someone? Is a huge amount of views over something negative worth the potential views and money at the cost of emotional health? It's an interesting question because some people say, what do they say? All attention is good attention, right? Some people say it's better to be infamous than an unknown. Some people say a lot of things. You know, some people even say that DSP is only prominent and relevant because of people who troll him. Okay? That's very interesting. Because actually, what I'd like to do now, we can use that topic, and thank you for the anonymous dollar tip. That will lead us into our next topic. Yesterday's stream, where I covered the launch of the Virtual Boy in 2026, how I covered it, how the internet responded to me covering it, and whether or not it benefited me. Okay? For those who don't know, I don't know how you don't know because apparently everyone on the internet heard of this. Yesterday, I covered the new Virtual Boy's launch that Nintendo is selling on their website for $100. You need to be a Nintendo Online subscriber to buy it, and it's a $100 plastic stand with 2 red lenses in it that you put your Switch 2 inside of to play Virtual Boy games. It has no other value whatsoever. It's not a standalone console. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any electronics in it. It's just a piece of plastic, okay? So, in order to cover this yesterday, I fully investigated it, showed you what it looked like, okay? The problem is, in all of their amazing wisdom and planning, Nintendo made it so that if you use the Virtual Boy app on the Switch 2, you cannot capture, stream, or make any content out of the games. Because when you open the Virtual Boy app, it says you can't dock the Switch 2. Hence, you can't get any video out of it at all. So not only did they make this an incredibly pricey endeavor to play because you need to buy either the $100 Virtual Boy unit or the $30 cardboard box with lenses and then get the $50 a year Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass subscription, then you also can't make any content out of it either. So I said, to hell with all that. I'm not letting Nintendo screw me. I'm going to make content anyway. I don't care. So yesterday, I sat right here on this very desk with the Virtual Boy on a stand on top of its own box, and I played it for about an hour. I played 2 games, Wario Land and golf. Okay? Now, when I say I played the games, I mean that. That's exactly what I did. However, you couldn't see it because there was no way to capture it. So instead, I basically narrated the gameplay and told you what I was seeing and told you what I thought about the 3D effects, the feeling of using the Virtual Boy, including was there eye strain, was I sweaty from it, did my neck hurt, etc. Now, basically, I did this for about an hour, all right? First off, I'm not the only person who did it. There are other people on the internet who did exactly the same thing, and no one cared. Everyone was okay with it. But because DSP did this, that's got to become news. Because people have to spin everything I do in a toxic and negative way. So, of course, because I did it, it's bad. Everyone else literally did the same thing. That was okay for them. It was a funny experiment. It was an interesting thing. You made lemonade out of lemons. But for DSP to do it, oh, what a joke, what a laughing stock, what an embarrassment he is. Bullshit. Everyone who did that can go fuck themselves. Post that on Reddit. Go fuck yourself, you limp dick losers. I do exactly the same thing as everyone else, and I'm wrong, and everyone else is right. Suck my dick. I don't care what you say. You're all a bunch of fucking losers, and you're jealous that you sit there looking at clips of me on fucking Reddit and other places all day, and you have to have a miserable life offline, probably in a 9-to-5 job flipping fucking burgers, while I get to sit here and make content for an awesome, engaged audience all day. They like the content, they reciprocate with support, and you sit there crying about your miserable life, laughing at videos of me. I'm the winner here, not you. So that's just number one. Let's get that out of the fucking way, okay? Now, outside of that, what happened was me playing the Virtual Boy for an hour got clipped. What does that mean? It means people took snippets of that and posted it all over the internet. Now, did they give me credit for it? No. Did they link to DSP Gaming so people would come to the channel to watch the actual coverage that I put out on the channel? No. Instead, they just clipped moments and acted like it was funny, ha ha ha. So, do I actually benefit from the trolling behavior of people on the internet who steal my content and clip it to make fun of it? No. This is exactly what I explained to Asmongold, that when he reacts to a clip of me from Reddit or from one of my detractors, I literally don't benefit. No one comes to DSP Gaming to check out the content because no one can find DSP Gaming. For 1 month, they did. Right after the Asmongold interview and everyone watched it, they basically came and said, oh, I could find it again, and it was in the algorithm. And then what happened is, well, it trailed off. The big YouTubers weren't talking about me anymore, and therefore, DSP Gaming went right back to the bottom of the algorithm again, and no one can find the channel. Now when you search for it, guess what you get? You get my detractors or you get the Reddit clips. You don't get the raw DSP content here on the channel. You get raw Phil stealing the content from the channel. So, hence, what I've been saying is basic and simple, all right? Sadly, I don't benefit from the toxic content. I just don't. I don't, all right? It doesn't help me at all. All it benefits are people who are no-load losers who steal to make their own content, okay? So I'm not happy that people cover it in a negative way, spin it in a toxic way. Sure, you can argue that it adds some level of relevance because at least people are talking about DSP. Hence, this person who just tipped the dollar and said, do you think that any kind of attention is good attention? It's good to at least be in the discussion. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, why is it that I was in the discussion yesterday in a negative and toxic way for doing exactly the same thing that tons of people did who cover Nintendo content? It was okay for everyone else to cover the Virtual Boy the way that I did. They were all right. In fact, my coverage in a lot of cases looked better, sounded better, because I got a better setup than them. You could actually see me playing it at a really good angle, good HD coverage and everything. But I'm the Joker, right? I'm the clown. But they're okay doing it. No. The truth is, that's not acceptable. It's not. And if you saw the clips, you're the fucking clown, not me. I'm the one who makes a living doing it. So who's the joke here? Really? These are jealous ass fucking people who just want to act like I'm some kind of miserable wretch who's down on his luck that he has to do this. No, I had a blast yesterday. I want to make that clear. Covering the Virtual Boy may have been a joke for Nintendo because I exposed how bad of a product it is, right? At the same time, it was incredibly fun to do that. And I love my job. I love doing this for a living. So I had a great time. I will continue to cover this kind of stuff in this way because now I can. You know, in the past, it was, I couldn't get the $100 piece of garbage from Nintendo to cover it because I couldn't afford it. Well, now I can, and I will continue to do this kind of coverage, and my viewers will appreciate it. And I'll explain why. My viewers like me doing original stuff. My viewers, and when I say my viewers, I mean the positive people who've been with me all along, or some of you who've just joined me over the last several months and are here in a very awesome and engaging way. You guys like what I'm doing. I know because I've been seeing the feedback live on the streams. I've been seeing the comments and the thumbs up you're giving me, and I've been seeing the support that you're giving me to keep me going. And I really appreciate that. And I'm going to continue to do this kind of awesome coverage for you that's very different from the old stuff I used to do. What it is, particularly, is simple. People don't like accepting the fact that DSP is a legit video gaming creator. They've always treated me as a joke. They've treated me as the meme, the negative guy, the guy that did this bad thing and that bad thing. Now I'm actually legitimately covering stuff, like exposing that Crizzle is a super boring game for 3 to 4 hours and nothing that was in the trailer is actually in the early game. Or exposing that the actual Virtual Boy is a piece of garbage that's priced $100 and probably cost Nintendo $15 to make, and they're ripping everyone off. legitimate gaming coverage, which is what you would expect from a legitimate channel, well, they can't accept that I'm putting out legitimate gaming coverage anymore. Oh, no, he's just a joke. We're supposed to laugh at him, and he's supposed to be the miserable guy. Well, I'm not miserable. I'm happy. I'm doing well, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry, that's just reality. Every time that you make a Reddit post and you clip my content and you do something negative, it just proves you're the embarrassment. You're the miserable fucking people out there, not me. I'm good. I'm doing well. Yeah, I rage when I play Street Fighter. Yeah, it's disappointing if I have a stream that doesn't do as good as I hoped it would. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means I continue on my merry way, having fun and trying to improve, which is the way to succeed in any kind of business. You gauge interest, you see what's going on, you see who likes what you're doing, you try to cater to that audience, you ask for feedback, and then you improve yourself. That's how you succeed. That's why I'm still here 18 years later. Not because I'm some kind of a stupid meme that you've joked about for the last decade, and you think that's why I'm still here. I don't make $1 off of your toxic shit. You're losers. Every one of you that sits out there laughing at off the cuff, out of context, stupid toxic clips about me is a loser. And I don't need to waste time on you. Now put that shit on Reddit and choke on it. Okay, so yesterday, after covering the Virtual Boy, okay, we then jumped into the Nintendo Switch Online program, and we took a look at a whole bunch of games. There's a lot on there. Admittedly, not as much as I thought there would be, because someone made a very interesting point. They said, isn't it weird that this Nintendo Switch Online has been out for 9 freaking years and there's only this many games? Like, there's almost no GameCube games on there. There's very few Nintendo 64. It's like, why is there so few games? Because Nintendo is trickling them out. They really never made an effort to actually be forthcoming with a bunch of games. To be honest, I don't think that subscription is really worth it. Now, I bought a 1-year subscription. We'll test it for the year, okay? We'll see how it goes. And let's see, if we get good value out of it. Last stream, well, yesterday's stream, I should say, we saw a lot. We saw a lot of Game Boy Advance games that are pretty neat because I've never played them before. Like, I played Metroid Fusion. I played Wario Land 4? Wario Land 4. And both of them seem really good games. Oh, also, Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. So 3 games right there. Never played. Didn't know much about. Played them all for a few minutes. They were great. Okay, these are all games that I would consider playing in the future. Why not? I've never experienced this library of Nintendo games before, and now you can play handhelds, streamed. That's pretty cool, okay? So there, I would say there's some good potential. But we also looked at a lot of the games that are on NES, Super NES. There's even some Genesis, and that's another thing. The Genesis library, pretty disappointing. Essentially, it's everything that was on the Genesis Mini and just a few more games, so not that much. Really kind of a letdown there. I was hoping that there'd be a lot more of an extensive library, and there just isn't. So, what I would like to ask of you, and I'm curious because we're all here, we're going to be interactive now, hopefully. What do you guys think I should check out of that catalog? Because on March 6th, that's a Friday, first week of March, is my next marathon. Now, unlike the last marathon, where it was a randomized marathon and no one knew what I was going to play and everyone just voted live during the marathon, I want to do the opposite of that. I want to lock in the games that I'm actually going to be playing, set them in stone so everyone knows, ooh, I can expect this and this and this, and I want to be there because those are games I want to see. You see the difference? Last marathon didn't do so good when it came to attendance and engagement because people never knew what I was going to be playing during the course of the day. So if you showed up early and you wanted something that was going to end up getting played later, you were disappointed. Or if you showed up later and I had already played the thing you wanted, you were disappointed. In this case, I want to have everything set. So, I'm curious what you guys think. Now, hold on one second because there's a couple tips here to shout out, and then we're going to get to that. Huh? I don't know what this person is saying. Someone tipped $2 and says, remember to say to everyone, your, and by the way, they're not spelling your at all correctly. You know how it's supposed to be Y-O-U'-R-E? It's just the word your instead. You're thankful for your viewers. Remember, if you're on a main channel or a detractor, you make this possible, so throw a support dono my way so we can all go along happily. That would never happen. No one who's watching the detractor stream right now is going to leave the detractor stream and come over here and drop a donut. I just don't believe that. And that's the point I'm making. No one who sees me get clipped and thrown on Reddit, no one who clips and puts it on X and gets views and shit, I just don't see any of those people being positive and even finding my content. That's what I mean. Like, there's people who literally only watch the toxic stuff. They've never even been to DSPGaming. They don't even know this channel. So I don't believe that that would actually ever happen. I'm sorry, I just don't. Maybe there are some people who get it, and those are people who maybe kind of watch or pocket watch over on Kick, and every once in a while, they'll drop me a sub or something like that. Like, for example, yesterday, Virtual Boy Defeats DSP dropped a couple subs, and I was like, you know what? This is a guy that razzes me all the time. He says, like, not really toxic stuff, but sarcastic stuff. I get the joke, and then every once in a while, he drops me a sub. I'm totally okay with that, but he's actually here. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is, he actively left that content, he came over here, and he checked me out, and now he's here every day. As opposed to the people who just casually watch me through clips that are stolen and get posted elsewhere, and I get nothing out of it. Do you see the difference? I hope that makes sense. So someone tipped $2 says, I would argue old Phil thought any attention was good and saw the consequences. It's kind of a cautionary tale. You're right. I would agree with that. Old me was basically this. Say whatever, do whatever, get attention, profit. Because old Phil used to be based off of raw views turning into ad revenue. So as long as I got you to watch my content, I would make money. Today, everyone watches my content, just not on my channel, so I don't make money. Does that make sense? It's different today. It didn't used to be like that. People didn't clip and post on other channels, and there was not just giant react culture on the internet. It was, oh, DSP did something. Let me go check out DSPGaming and see what he did today, and then I get a view. And it's not like that anymore. It's sad because really a lot of people are just getting constantly ripped off and not getting rewarded for their own hard work because other people steal it. Someone tipped $2 and said, well, why are you even bothering addressing this? Because it's not going to do you any good. The detractors can't be changed, and your fans are already your fans. Well, because people from time to time do bring up the fact that Phil went viral. Like yesterday, I did go viral. The clips of me reviewing the Virtual Boy actually got, I think it was like within an hour, 8,000 likes on X and then Reddit posts and shit. And people are like, well, why aren't you happy about that? Why don't you bring it up? Why don't you mention it? Because it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't. It doesn't help me at all. It's all stolen shit. And no one credits me. That's the other thing. If it was DSPGaming reviewed the Virtual Boy in a hilarious way, at least someone might fucking come to DSPGaming. But no one ever does that. They always purposefully try to change it and make it so that no one would know where I am and how to find the content. I'll give you the example. Are you ready? Because this is actually where I was going with this. So here, yesterday, I put out the videos, right? So the video of me actually playing the Virtual Boy, well, let's see, it went viral, right? So, you know, the X post got 8,000 likes, which means it must have had tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. It was front page on Reddit, and it got hundreds of thousands of views. How many views did my video get? 1,200. That's the point I'm making. How much money do I make on a video like that? Probably $2. No exaggeration. I'll probably make $2 on that video in ad revenue. Now I think you see my point. No one watches the raw content because it's stolen. Okay? That's where I was going with that. Is that I did all this hard work yesterday. I covered it. And, you know, can you imagine if actually no one stole the fucking content and actually watched it at the source? If I actually got paid for my work? But that's how the internet works. Everyone steals everything now. That's why I enjoy being an interactive live streamer and making my income on the stream, not on the residuals. Because I used to be the residuals guy, and the residuals completely disappear when everyone constantly steals your content. Okay? So there you have it. Okay. So, and by the way, a couple more tips are coming in. Someone tipped $2 said exactly the same thing that I just addressed. So thanks for another $2. It's literally the same, like same exact thing we just said. Well, someone tipped $2 says, I watch the people who steal from you, but I also watch you and sometimes contribute to you. And the reason is because the people who rip your stuff and steal it do things such as put the chat on screen. Yes, but you understand, if I put the chat on screen, it would literally ruin the product. Like right now, if I put both chats up on screen, immediately the trolls who make the 50 to 100 sock accounts would just spam it literally endlessly all day and say doxing shit and racist stuff to try to get me banned. Like, that's the point. That's why they would do it. They want attention. That's already happened when it used to be when I had an open comment system on my videos where people would come and do that nonstop. I can't put the chats on my screen unless I massively over moderate. If you want me to have bots that literally lock down 90% of discussion, then I can put the chats on the screen. Otherwise, people will actively be trying to get me banned. I can't put the chats on the screen. Okay? Now, someone who steals my content can put the chats on the screen because I have them not on mine, so that, they won't get affected. I will. Do you understand what I'm saying? Again, I understand what people are saying. Oh, well, this and that is different, but it's not. For me, my existence on the internet is completely unique because I have to do things differently because of the level of, not even scrutiny, but the level of harassment and stalking and lies that get thrown around about anything that I do. Like right now, if I cough, people will flag it and say, oh, he said the N-word. What are you talking about? I cough. No, that's the N-word. That's how these idiots are, So I just can't do what these people do, Anyway, let's get back to the subject at hand. Okay? So, let's talk about the games, all right? Yesterday, I played all of these retro games. Well, I didn't play them all. I saw them all, and I played a bunch. Let's see. I played Metroid Fusion, Wario Land, or Wario Land 4? Was Wario Land 4? Yes. Zelda Minish Cap. That was interesting. Mario Paint. That was cool to play for the first time since the 90s. That was really awesome. And what else did I play? Geez, I played a couple other things too, right? I did. But I can't remember exactly everything I played. But it was a good stream of variety. I really enjoyed just playing these variety of games on the stream. But the question is, what theme or what particular kinds of games should I be playing for the marathon on March 6th? What would you like? Because people keep saying they want retro, right? They want the throwback. And I'm okay with that. I just want to know what people want. So if you could get feedback. First of all, thank you for the smooch, Aaron. Give me a big juicy one. Aaron with a $10 super chat says, I'm just stopping by again to show support. Thank you so much, Aaron. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for the support today. That's actually our biggest super chat so far. So many smooches. First, we had a briefcase of affluence, and now we got a big juicy smooch. You guys are showing the love this morning. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So, what are we thinking? First off, I guess the question is, should we do a marathon that's based on one particular platform? Like, should it be the NES marathon? Should it be the Super Nintendo marathon? Should we do just Game Boy Advance games, right? Or should we actually try a variety? If we try a variety, we have a bigger selection, but then it'll be harder to narrow down the exact games that we're looking at, right? So what do you guys think? Double Dragon. I would play Double Dragon. But would you be Double Dragon 1 or 2? In fact, you know what? Let's start making a list. Let's start making a list of the games for this marathon. Yeah, let's get rid of this one. Let's make a new tab here. So, the Retrothon game nominations, right? I'll put Double Dragon. Now, the thing is, there's Double Dragon 1 and Double Dragon 2, and then there was Double Dragon Cross Battletoads, which is a little different. My personal favorite is Double Dragon 2. That game is absolutely outstanding when it comes to the graphics, the gameplay elements, the music. It's a really fun game. So that would be my pick. Should I just pick, since you nominated a category? I'll say Double Dragon 2. Keep in mind, these games that I'm mentioning, I've not played since I owned an NES. I haven't played Double Dragon 2 since like 1990 or something like that. So it's going to be a long time coming, but it'll be cool to go back and play. Okay? So, most tasteless says Star Fox 64 and Donkey Kong 2 SNES. Donkey Kong Country 2 I've already played, done a full playthrough, and you can find that playthrough here on the channel. But I never played Star Fox 64, okay? And I love Star Fox 64. That's a game from my youth that I owned. It's one of the few games I actually owned on Nintendo 64 that I played quite a lot, but I haven't played it in so long, I probably will suck at it, but it would still be pretty cool to play. Okay? Shout out to Roy Barnes for a $10 super chat, and he's talking about Year of the Horse and the Dog. He says, expect one of the best years of your life. Thanks for the content. Well, thank you, Roy. I don't know anything about that. That is the Chinese calendar, right? How they have a year of different animals and stuff. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But thank you, Roy, for a $10 super chat and a smooch. Someone's asking to be unbanned, and I'm going to see if I can just quickly unban them. I love that I can quick unban people now. This is a huge thing. Remember, you see me ages to do it, and I do it instantly. So you're a person who just tipped me $1. You're unbanned. Thanks for the buck. Okay. Sweet. All right. So I would say Double Dragon 2 and Star Fox 64. 2 great suggestions. No, you see most tasteless? I'm with you on that. He goes, the Sega Genesis X-Men game if they have it. Dude, their Genesis selection sucks. It outright stinks. I don't know why. It's only like 10 games. Or okay, take it back. It's like 20 games, but it's mostly the games we've already played on the Genesis Mini, like the Mega Man Wily Wars or Sonic 1 through 3, stuff like that. They don't have any good ones. You know, oh, that's a good suggestion. Someone said, would I play Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, which is the Genesis version of Street Fighter 2, and it's horrible. Like, would I just play it for laughs? Yes, let's do that. Wait till you guys see. Wait till you guys see how freaking bad that game is. And it's sad because people paid the same amount of money for that and for Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting on the SNES. They came out at the same time. And Championship Edition is so awful. And I don't know why people, like, basically didn't get pissed that they got ripped off, because they absolutely did. Okay? Titan Ice Lab, you're welcome. Okay. Good morning, Vassal. How's it going, man? Good to see you. 220 asked, did I ever try stuff from before my generation like Commodore 64 and Atari? I owned the Atari 7800. My uncle gave it to me, and he gave me a variety of both 2600 and 7800 games, both of which worked on the console. So I played games like Jungle Hunt, Dig Dug, Moon Patrol, Karateka, Asteroids, Pac-Man, Rampage. I could keep going. There's like 20, 30 games I had. He gave me all these games. So yes, I played Atari. Okay. Try Luigi's Mansion 1. Okay, I've never played Luigi's Mansion 1. I like that suggestion. I've only played Luigi's Mansion 2 for a brief time on the 3DS, and I played a full playthrough of Luigi's Mansion 3, but I never played 1. So that's a good suggestion to maybe try that for a little bit. I never played the original Shining Force 1 or 2. I played the Shining Forces that were on the Saturn. I think there were 2 of them on the Saturn, and I played both. I didn't play them through. I played them a good amount, but it was a long, obviously the 90s, but I've never played the originals. Soul Calibur 2. If you want me to play Soul Calibur 2 for a little bit, I'll play that. That's on the GameCube, right? And isn't that the version that has Link from Zelda in it? I think so. F-Zero on the GameCube. I never played F-Zero. Get this. I never played F-Zero on the SNES when it was new or anything back then. And I never played any of the other F-Zeros either, because I know that there's been other ones over the years. I only played F-Zero, if I remember correctly, it was in like a retro collection, or it was in... I think I played it like on the Switch, but that was the first time I had ever played it. So yeah, I never played the F-Zero stuff. I missed out on it. I did have the Super Scope 6. Yes, I did. And that, man, let me tell you, the Super Scope 6 was a fun accessory, but there were 2 critical flaws. Flaw number 1, it killed batteries so quickly, and the thing took like 6 batteries. So you'd be playing for like a couple hours, and it would die. Like, what the fuck? This thing ate my batteries that fast? It was wild how quickly. And number 2, it didn't have enough games. It only had the starter game it came with, and there was maybe like a few games that it worked with, and that was it. That was absolutely it. So really, really disappointing, okay, that the lineup was so lame. Let's see here. Roy did another $5 super chat. He says, fun fact, Yuji Horii, the creator of Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest, said he couldn't make a Chrono Trigger sequel. He added his vision to Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Well, there you go. That's interesting to know. You know, I'm loving Dragon Quest VII Reimagined right now. Playing it again tomorrow. Sadly, we just don't get a big audience for it, but I love playing it. I really do. I'm having a great time with it. I hope you guys will join me. If you like RPGs from back in the day, it's that kind of game, and the modern graphics and music make it a special playthrough. I hope you'll join me for it. Okay. Yes, the mech fighting game. I forget what it was called. There was two. I think there was a sequel to it as well. That game was awesome on Super Scope. I forget what it was called. But what you would do, there would be mechs fighting, and you have to shoot their weak points to, like, knock them back. It was kind of almost like Punch-Out, but with a gun, if that makes sense. It was really fun. Clay Fighter was a fun game, but busted. It was not a balanced game. That's not on there, sadly. I looked for it. It was not in the library that they have on Nintendo Switch Online. Oh, we did play Eternal Champions on Genesis. I hated it. Okay, so far we have Double Dragon 2, Star Fox 64, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Luigi's Mansion, and Soul Calibur 2. Do you guys have any other suggestions of games that I should check out during the Retrothon in March? Let's get a couple more, and then we'll keep adding to this list, but we'll try to lock in to those games before the marathon, so that way people know what to expect, and they know to come by and check it out. Isn't Clay Fighter super rare? I don't know. I've only played it at Blockbuster Video. I rented it. I rented it a few times, actually. Streets of Rage. I think it has Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. If I saw in the Genesis collection. It might have only be 2, though. I'll put that down. I don't know if people are going to want Streets of Rage, but I'll put that down. Well, let me ask you this. Streets of Rage 1 or 2? Because I know 1 and 2 are in there. Which would you want me to play? Because we have to like narrow it down to 1, right? Wild Guns. I don't know anything about Wild Guns. It looks like it's a shoot 'em up. 2. People are saying Streets of Rage 2. I know I played Streets of Rage 2 once before, but we could play it again. It's got a kicking ass soundtrack. I know that. What's up, Game Boy? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here today. Let's see here. Fish Tank Boss did a $2 super chat saying, would you ever do a GunCon game marathon? GunCon sounds familiar. Was that the gun for PlayStation or something? I'm trying to remember. I mean, I don't have it, and the sad fact is, those gun accessories, most of them don't work with modern TVs. Old school gun accessories, the way they work is that you would aim at your TV, pull the trigger, and when you pulled the trigger, essentially the screen would flash, and the area you were supposed to be aiming for would be like a color while everything else would be black. So if the gun registered that it was pointed at the color, you get a hit detection, and if not, it wouldn't work. The problem is it only worked with old school TVs. It doesn't work with the new LED or LCD TVs at all. So like if I had a gun accessory here, tried to use it with my OLED monitor, it wouldn't work. Let's see here. Roy did a $5 super chat asking, will I ever play Ghost of Yotei a try? Because Ghost of Yotei is getting a multiplayer expansion in March. No. Just being honest. Everything I saw about Ghost of Yotei looked incredibly, how can I say, not bad, but looked exactly the same as the first game. Just swapping the protagonist for a new protagonist and a new story. But why would you want to do that? It's the same game. And people who played it admitted it's pretty much the same game as the first. They just liked the game so much they wanted to play it again. So, for me, it wasn't like, oh, I'm so upset about Ghost of Yotei because of all the political nonsense and cultural nonsense people tried to throw into it. I really didn't want to put up with it. Like, if I played it, I knew people were going to come to the chat and say, the voice actress of this main character is a liberal, leftist, feminist, blah, blah, blah. Ugh. I didn't want to put up with that. I didn't. And I'm glad, to be honest, I'm glad I skipped it. Because I feel like if I hadn't, it just would have been freaking pain. You know what I mean? But it sounds like I didn't miss much. It sounds like it did undersell. It did, for the record. Ghost of Yotei undersold from what they wanted sales numbers to be and won no awards. It wasn't even in people's discussions for Game of the Year. They were hoping it was going to be a knock you on your ass Game of the Year contender, and it just kind of came and went. So, I'm not too interested in Ghost of Yotei. I don't think I'm ever going to play it. Someone tipped the buck says, I think you should concentrate one day a week on one game only. For example, with one day, just play RimWorld all day and another game all day. I don't think that would work. Number one, I don't think a lot of people can stick with me all day, honestly. Like, I think the reason my streams work well is because they're digestible. They're not long marathon experiences. Imagine if every time I played a game, it was a marathon, right? Every day it's 8 straight hours of a game. How many people can actually stick around for 8 straight hours? Probably not many, you know? Also, I thrive being a variety streamer. I really do. And I could still be a variety streamer if I played a game all day, but I think the double stream works well to break up the day for variety. Case in point, I like Street Fighter, but if I played Street Fighter 6 all day, I'd be bored to tears and wouldn't want to play it anymore. Seriously, like, I just can't play one game that long. I would actually lose interest, okay? Roy did another $2 super chat. Thank you for all the support, Roy. He says, if I donate Yotail, will you play it? No. It's not about the cost of the game. It's never about the cost of the game. It's about the fact that I'm not interested, and the audience wasn't either. Trust me, if I had skipped Ghost of Yote and a ton of people had come to me saying, Phil, you're really screwing yourself here. This is like game of the year. This is a huge game. You're really missing out. It was literally the opposite. People were coming to stream saying, so I'm playing Ghost of Yote. It's all right. Like, no one actually came to me and said, Ghost of Yote sucks. No one said that. So I want to make that clear. It's not that Ghost of Yote apparently is a horrible game or anything like that. It's not. It's that it just isn't good. It's just kind of eh. It's a passable game. It's a time sink. I don't want a passable game or a time sink. I want something that stands out and is interesting and worth my time. Because my time is very valuable. I'm getting pulled in a million directions. Play this game, play that game, play this AAA game, play this indie game, play this game from the past that's a retro game that you missed, play this retro game that you know, because you'll add a lot to the commentary because you know that. See what I'm saying? Like, everyone wants me to do everything. I need to do things that are going to be notable with my time, and particularly with Ghost of Yote, that game is long as shit. People were saying minimum 40 hours to play it. I don't have 40 hours to just throw away because it's a new game. I need, if I'm going to invest 40 hours in something, it's got to be worth my time, okay? What a dumb thing to say. Is it because you play as a woman? I remember Stellar Blade being an issue. Yes, it's because you play as a woman. That's why I never played Horizon and its sequel. That's why I don't use Lily in Street Fighter 6. Like, what are you talking about? It was a stupid thing to say. See you later, Roy. Thanks for a final $2. He says, I got it. Hope you have a great stream and peace out. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate that. Thanks for all the support. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Again, you guys are helping me right now because I'm trying to bounce back from several slower streams, and already to have a freaking big chunk here of support just on the podcast is amazing. Thank you, guys. What's up, Satan? How you do? How you doing, man? All right, so we got some games on the lineup. We got Double Dragon 2, Star Fox 64, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Luigi's Mansion, Soul Calibur 2, and Streets of Rage 2. I want more suggestions. So if you're watching this podcast on demand, feel free to leave comments on it and leave your suggestions for games for the Retrothon. And I'm going to continue to ask this over the next couple of days. I want to get a good lineup of maybe 10 solid games, which we could then determine what we want to do during the event. But at least people will know the games, right? So people will know what to expect in the marathon and show up and see those games. You see? That's good. Okay. All right, folks. Let's mute this crazy music. What the hell is this? I don't even know. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? They're calling that dark wave. That's actually a genre. Dark wave is a genre of music, apparently. Okay. Now on to my final topic of the day. Kick and other streaming services, but notably recently Kick, has been cracking down on botting. And there's one particular streamer that has been massively negatively affected by this. Now, first off, here we go. First off, you might say, why would a streamer who's being negatively affected bring it up on stream and talk publicly about it? Well, the truth is, I don't think that anyone ever should. Like, if there ever is stuff going on behind the scenes with demonetization, with, being called out for an act that you may or may not consider that you actually are guilty of, I don't think you should talk about it publicly. If you want to deal with it privately behind the scenes, that's one thing. But to be blabbing about it publicly on a stream is probably a bad idea, particularly because your audience probably can't help you with it. So you might say, why would this person be talking about it publicly on their stream? Well, it's an easy answer, okay? Hold on. Oh, God. There we go. It's because recently, LTG accidentally leaked this on his stream. This is an actual document that LTG accidentally put up on his screen during a live stream. Oh, man. So why is this bad? This is bad because this isn't, oh, a detractor supposedly got his information and posted it up on Kiwi Farms, or someone claims they hacked his account and this is his bank account balance, okay? This is something he actually put up on his screen on his stream, okay? And if you're wondering what this is, it's very simple. His detractors have accused him of having a kid and basically being a deadbeat dad and not paying child support. And then he puts this up on his stream. Okay? So, in summary, this is basically saying he supposedly owes around $9,000 of back child support because of legal orders against him. Okay? So he shows this and everyone's freaking out like, what the hell did he just do? Why did he put that on his stream? Okay? So you might say, well, what does this have to do with view botting and all of that? Well, that's a good question. The next day, all of a sudden, LTG is complaining about lost revenue on his stream. And it's like, isn't it weird that the day before, he accidentally puts that up on his screen, and then on his very next stream, he's complaining about Kick taking money away from him. All right? I'm going somewhere with this, don't worry. So let me just play some clips
basically,
here.
they didn't pay me for last night because when it comes to me, I can't get away with nothing. Everybody else could.
So you hear what he's saying? And again, this is very bad the way that he does it. Basically, oh, here it is. Listen, hello again. Thank you for your patience. Regrettably, the reversion will remain. Please keep in mind that long-form videos are not allowed, especially if there's insufficient interaction with your viewers. Additionally, blah, blah, blah. So let's see what he says, and then I'll tell you basically what really happened here.
Regrettably, the reversion will remain the same. Please keep in mind that long-form videos are not allowed, especially if there's insufficient interaction with your viewers. Additionally, if you want to watch this type of content, please disable your KVP toggle, blah, blah, blah. Do people that spam IRLs on the platform, do they interact with their viewers? So anytime we watch the Drewski shit, I'm gonna kill the kick stream 1,000%.
So here's what happened. Okay, first of all, everyone knows that LTG is rampantly accused of view botting his content. Okay, that it always says somehow he has thousands of viewers everywhere he streams, whether it's Twitch, whether it's Kick, no matter where he's streaming, somehow he has thousands of viewers, right? But when you look at his chat literally never moves. Ever. It just sits there. And every once in a while, there's a trickle. Like, for example, there's something called a chat rate on YouTube. If you don't know what a chat rate is, it's basically how many people are talking and at what speed they're talking. I have a chat rate right now of 15, which is a good rating. A great chat rate would be like 50, all right? But me, I'm a small-time guy. I got a chat rate of 15. When I play a slower game, like if I'm playing Dragon Quest 7, it'll go down to like 5, okay? But I have a decent chat rate. Right now on Kick, my Kick chat constantly moves. You guys on Kick are always active. You're posting the emotes, you're talking, you're razzing me, you're constantly engaging. That's engagement. And this is what I keep telling you guys, how important engagement is. You don't understand that what's happened is that there are creators out there that literally are trying to make a bank and a living on a lie. They are constantly view botting themselves. They are pretending like they have a certain amount of subs that they paid to get. They are actually gifting themselves subscriptions, donations. They are trying to fool the system into thinking that they're popular. And what they're hoping for is they can get to a level where people will start watching them just on the notion that they are popular. Because we've been actually talking about this for years, that there are creators out there that they don't necessarily do anything better than anyone else, but they're just popular. Why? Because they're popular. Just because they have that view count, because they have that number of subs, that number of attention on them, for some reason, people check them out because they heard that they're big. okay? And that's what certain creators are now trying to do. They're trying to game the system by fooling people into thinking they're big, all right? So what happened was LTG was sitting there reacting to a video for 1 hour, okay? 1 hour. All he did was play a video, all right? And then he just reacted to the video. He literally ignored his chat. He didn't talk to chat for an hour. Imagine me on any given stream never talking to you guys at all, okay? That's what he did. What ended up happening was his chat literally didn't move. Okay, you can go back and watch the archive. His chat was like a rock, solid, not moving. Okay? After the hour, he starts interacting with his chat again. Okay? So what happened was Kick used its automated tools to try to figure out what happened and said, this guy's view botting. 100%. This guy literally sits there on his stream making content for no one. No one's there. There's probably like maybe 100 people, right? Tops. And he's lying about 90% of his audience. It's all bots just sitting there, and that's why they don't talk, okay? Now, he has it set up that when he wants, they'll respond. Because you can check this out. When he was doing his big react to me, whenever it was, a few weeks ago, a month ago, he literally said to his chat, hey, chat, move. And then immediately the chat goes, because he has it programmed that way, okay? He is literally faking his success. It's all bullshit. And Kick is calling him out on it. So what happened was they demonetized him for that stream, okay? Now, keep in mind, he's already been demonetized before for fake subs, meaning Kick actually caught the fact that someone gifted him a whole bunch of subscriptions on Kick, and then they pulled the plug on it and charged them all back, but they had already paid him for them, so then they made him pay him back. He had to stream for like a month or two and made no money. He was literally paying back Kick the money that they had basically gave him a loan for, okay? He's out of that red now, but now he's got his individual streams now being demonetized one by one because he's doing botting. Now, here's the thing. Can anyone prove this? Of course not. Can you prove any of it? All you can do is rationally look at the situation and judge the facts. I'm a streamer. I know how my chat moves with real people in it. Okay, I know how it works. I know that these people who are, making fun of me in the Kick chat are real people. They're just kind of mean, but they are real people. I know that the people talking in my YouTube chat are real people. I have a chat rate of 21 right now in my YouTube chat. This is legit stuff. This guy sits there and talks to himself. If you actually watch his streams, you'll notice all he's doing is like lecturing. There's no back and forth discussion. He doesn't actually have like a conversational tone with anyone. It's just, I'm talking down to you. That's his streams. So Kick has said, if you're going to make this kind of content, if you're just going to sit there and watch someone else's video for an hour and just comment on it, and you're not going to talk to your chat and your chat doesn't move, that's not a stream we want to monetize and pay you for, and we're not going to. So he actually got pissed. I'm not going to play the whole clip. He got pissed because he said, I streamed 8 hours and only an hour was me reacting to that clip. Why didn't you pay me for the other 7 hours? Well, LTG, they didn't pay you because they realized it's all bots in your chat. They're not going to pay you for any of it. It's not just you. It's not just that 1 hour. That 1 hour was the red flag for them to realize that you're botting. Okay? And it happened not once, but twice. Not one day, but 2 days in a row, this actually happened. That Kick is demonetizing LTG, and he's making no money streaming on Kick in the partner program. They've taken all of his revenue away. Hold on. This is from yesterday, I believe.
When you're basing shit on how much people chat in a nigga's stream, you're basing pay on how much your chatters are chatting, is what kind of stupid ass business model is that?
They're not basing income on how much his chatters are chatting. They're basing it on the fact that they don't chat at all. They're bots. They don't want to pay for bot views. So they're basically telling him, we're not going to pay you anymore because you're botting every day. If he would turn the bots off, or whoever's botting him, because maybe it's one of his followers or viewers, it could be someone he pays to do, or maybe they're, oh, do me a solid, bot me, right? If they would stop doing it, it would look way small. Like, I guarantee you, if he turned the bots off right now, his views would be 1/10 of what they say they are. I'm not shitting you. He's probably 90% botted, okay? If he turned it off, he would not look as popular or prominent or successful as he is, but he'd at least make money. The guy owes $9,000 of back pay for child support he hasn't paid, and it's just going to keep accumulating because there's going to be fees and things on top of that. I mean, what it sounds to me like, he's going to court for it. Like, he's going to be arguing in court, that's not my kid, I'm not paying this money or whatever, right? The guy needs every dollar he can make, but he can't get out of this rut of, I need to look popular, I need to be big. He's not. But he's trying to fool everyone, and probably himself, to thinking that he's more popular than he is. Listen, I know that I'm not popular. Right now, I have 285 viewers on YouTube, and I have, let's see here, 103 viewers on Kick. That's what I have. That's the audience that I bring in. And to me, that's a good audience. Okay? I like that. I can hang out with you guys. We can have conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can actually interact and have fun. And it's not me talking down to you as an audience. It's me actually having conversations with you that are meaningful, right? Do you like that? I think you guys do, or else you wouldn't be here. I'm happy with the level of success that I have, okay? LTG is one of those people that he needs to have the giant head. He's literally always bringing up other streamers that are bigger than him, that are more prominent, more popular. And he always says, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're bigger than me. But this guy, look how this guy talks. He makes fun of the guy, how the guy talks. Oh, he talks like like he's in the ghetto and he's at a barbecue or something. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that no one likes him, all right? Me, I know that almost no one likes me, but there's a small group of people who do. People who actually have come and legitimately hung out with me and had a good time with me. Those are the people that I cherish, that I appreciate that you guys come by and hang out with me. I really do. But him, he doesn't appreciate shit. He just wants to think that he's a big shot when he's not. So here he is botting himself, or someone who likes him is botting him, and likely he knows all about it. And now he's upset because Kick has chosen to demonetize his streams day and day again, and he's not making any money on his content anymore. Okay? Stuart just did a €2 or £2 super chat. He says low tier engagement. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. And this is what I keep telling you guys, why engagement is an important metric. It's not about views, and it's not about flat income. It's about engagement. If you don't have engagement, meaning you don't have people chatting, you don't have people talking, okay, you won't get the actual metrics that a site wants to believe that you're a successful streamer. Like, the reason that I still have success is because I have engagement. If I didn't have it, people were dead in the chat, not talking and not interacting with me, I wouldn't be having the level of success I do. And that's why I keep thanking you guys and asking you, please engage with the content. You have to understand it's very important to get engagement. It is. If not, then you can sadly have your stuff demonetized. YouTube, Kick, they'll say, well, you're not real. This is obviously fake crap, and, we don't believe it. So there you have it. And by the way, someone's botting me right now on YouTube because I'm talking about this, which I knew would happen. If you get botted like that on YouTube, basically what happens is your views inflate, but YouTube can detect bots and will erase those views from your stream, and you don't get paid for them. Okay? So YouTube already is taking care of this problem, but Kick just says to him, no, sir, we don't believe that this is real. We don't believe that this is, really who's coming on your streams. You're full of shit.
I guess it's
Just like this. 4,954 out of 5,000 paid subscribers. In what fucking universe would 5,000 people have a subscription to this man? Not this one. And not any other universe or dimension of the multiverse does LTG have 5,000 paid subscribers. Okay? It's a farce. It's him gifting to himself, or his followers gifting fake subs to himself and pulling the plug later, but then he still counts them, acting like it's real. Or else, why would he get $2,000 of chargebacks on Kick for it, right?
as good as the business model of signing a bunch of blacks. that ran off with the bag too. Might be as good as that one. You're paying niggas based off of organic chat moving? The kind of shit is that? Like, who made that shit up?
And as he's saying this, his chat's not moving. Just his bots are typing in there, and there's no movement in his chat. Meanwhile, I turn over here, and both of my chats are moving very well. People talking about what's going on. So anyway, because people ask me all the time, they say, why do you say that these are the factors of success? Why do you say attendance or views, engagement, and support? Because it literally is all three. And they all kind of go hand in hand. First of all, you need people to be there to watch your content. If no one's watching, then obviously you can't get the other two, right? So you always want to try to get views. But views don't equate to success necessarily, because you could have people influxing for a toxic and negative reason, and that will not benefit you whatsoever, okay? Engagement, the level that people interact with your content and have conversation with you during a stream, is now a metric that is incredibly important to content creation, because these services are now judging whether or not you're a real creator who actually has a fan base that will pay attention to you based on your engagement. If no one talks in your chat, you are screwed. You need to have an interactive audience, or else you cannot succeed in the modern era of content creation. And then, of course, support. Yes, the amount of people that are willing to donate, to keep your stuff moving, to get your stuff going so you can afford stuff and you can make a living, that's also directly important. But you need all three. You can't fake it to make it. It doesn't work as a content creator. Now, some people may get away with it, like maybe Burnt Peanut actually is doing some view botting. Maybe he's not. Don't know. But he's virally popular. Lavinia, I have no idea. Lavinia says, do you think LTG actually does have a kid, or that the woman is lying? I don't know anything about it. I don't follow that shit. I don't give a shit about that stuff at all. What I care about is stuff that directly relates to me. When you got a creator who outright can't stop lying about who he is, about his popularity level, about his level of success, he's in an empty fucking room in a house that's not even like a high-end house. And he claims that he's in a mansion with 1 million rooms and there's palatial ceilings and all this shit, but the room's empty. He hasn't even put anything in it. And he claims that he designed it, like he's expert level designed his stream setup, and he didn't. He's lying. There's nothing in there because I made fun of him for his old setup, and he's embarrassed that if he puts something else in there, he's going to get made fun of again. Okay? Then he view bots himself constantly. Then he fucking has fake subs on his stream to act like he's prominent, and he's a nobody. It's pathetic. And the guy just sits there, and he's a smudge on content creation. Do you understand? Like, that's the kind of thing you want to be the antithesis of. You want to make, it's better for you to have a small audience that engages and likes you than to pretend like you're big. Do you get it? Like, I'd much rather show my real numbers than to have someone come and fake it. I would rather have you say, look at these people who come, and I make a living doing this with a few hundred viewers because they like me. As opposed to, oh, it says that I have 100,000 viewers today, and they're all faked. Who cares? There you go. All right. So that's what I have for today's podcast, and I hope that you yeah, exactly. LTG says he has 9-foot ceilings and he doesn't get toys for a setup like you do. First of all, this room has a 9-foot ceiling that I'm in right now. That's a standard thing for a real house, is to have a tall ceiling. I have a 9-foot ceiling in here because I'm 6 feet tall and I can barely touch the ceiling. Okay? He's like he's bragging, my ceiling is tall. What an idiot. And, you know. Anyway, let's move on and let's do some Q&A, shall we? All right. Let's now people are going crazy in the Kick Chat. Let's go. All right, guys. Let's see what you guys want to talk about for the end of the show. Let's see here. What's going on, Faded Shadow? How you doing, man? Faded Shadow. No, I'm not 5'9", 155. Are you crazy? I told you I'm 5'11". Currently I'm 175. I think I might have hit the plateau of weight loss, meaning since I'm working out, I'm actively gaining muscle. And so I think I've hit that plateau. I'm probably going to be at 175 for a while because I think I'm still losing fat, but then I'm gaining muscle at the same time. So it's kind of evening out. So I don't think that I'm really going to lose much more. I could still lose fat, but then I'm going to gain muscle to replace it, and therefore my body weight's probably going to stay around the same. I hate to tell you this. One guy says you don't have 9-foot ceilings. The ceiling in my kitchen and my dining room is even taller than that, and I have insanely huge, tall ceilings in my living room. The way that my house was designed is called open concept, meaning it's meant to be a giant, very luxurious space. They designed the house that way, so you can like see the living room from the kitchen and all of that. And even the rooms on the top floor, the ceilings are pretty tall. Like that's the house I live in. It's a very nice house. It's in a freaking private community of what's considered to be high-end condos that were built in the 1990s. Yeah, I need to get a better scale. My scale is old as shit. I have an old-ass scale, so I might get a better one. You know, as I seriously start to work out more and try to do things with a better weight machine and stuff, I'll probably end up getting a better scale because mine is, like I said, just doesn't have many features, really old. Donger Ponger, I have never view botted, no, never once. And also, and I've said this before, I've never faked a contribution ever. I've never faked a sub, I've never faked a tip, I've never faked a super chat, I've never faked bits, I've never faked kicks, I never faked anything anywhere, and I don't view bot. So, have I been view botted? Of course. Right now, they're view botting me on YouTube. Why? Because I brought up the fact that LTG literally view bots every stream he does. So, they're going to do it to me, of course, now. So, but, you know, I'm not doing that. I have no control over it. And like I said, on YouTube, they have it under control where you don't get those views, nor do you get paid for them because they can identify view bots, which is a very good thing. People have been trying to do this to me for like 5+ years. Can I get an RGB scale? I don't know. Do they sell that? They probably sell one that glows so you could read it in a dark bathroom, I would bet. But I don't know if that they would have RGB lights on the side. Excuse me. No, I don't. I literally do not fake anything. That's just the dumbass detractor meme that they've made up about me. I've not faked one contribution ever. If that were the case, why would I not be faking it to say that I'm doing well every single stream, to seem like I'm doing better than I am? That doesn't make sense. Why would I selectively choose certain streams to say I'm doing better in and others when I'm not? Why would I ever have ended a streak where basically I was benefiting from having the streak be hit? None of that makes any sense. But that's the thing. The narrative that these people create never made sense. It's just them saying something negative and toxic to say it, but then when you try to analyze it in a way that would, well, that doesn't make sense, and here's why. Oh, that's it. They move on to something else, right? They can't be faced with reality that what they're saying is just bullshit. It doesn't make sense at all. Do I think LTG has a warrant out for his arrest? I haven't heard that one yet. I can't say no, I don't know, but I haven't heard that one yet. Paulie G, I understand that you want to spam detractor memes about LTG in my kick chat, but it would be great if you could post them once only and not keep spamming the same one. Once only per detractor meme. Like, we've all seen the 2 that you've posted now, but you don't have to post them 20 times each. There you go. There's a new one. He posted a new one. There you go. You can alternate. There's enough of them. You can alternate them. Oh, goodness. What's up, Alex? How you doing, man? I'm not obsessed with LTG. This is a pertinent topic that has to do directly with something that affects me, right? I've been view botted before, and I talk about the importance of engagement all the time. Here's exactly the reason why, and it just so happens to be everyone's favorite streamer that's been affected by it. So there you go. The notepad drama, I don't understand, because now, of course, everyone on the internet is saying, is it real or not? Well, first of all, why on holy hell would LTG have that note open on his streaming PC when he's streaming? I want you to think about that, right? Like, it's his streaming PC. Why is it opened on there? Well, was he looking at it right before the stream and then he opened, like, huh? It doesn't seem to make much sense. Some people are saying they think that it was set up that way purposefully to get him sympathy, that people will think that it's real now because he put on there without a DNA test or whatever. So now people will think, oh, poor Dale. Well, I guess if they like him, they would just say poor DeLon. But, you know, they say poor Dale that, you know, he has to pay $9,000 now for something that's never been legally found. I don't understand that. Again, I don't know anything about child support in the state of California or anything like that. I think that's where he lives, right? California. But if it's not his kid and it's never been proven to be his kid, how could there be rulings saying that he owes the money? Does that make any sense? Right? Like, there had to have been some kind of evidence that it's actually his kid. No? How else, seriously, how else could he possibly have gotten court rulings against him? I don't know. I don't understand that whatsoever. No, I don't know a lot about him. Every once in a while, I told you what happens is every once in a while, one of these clips pops into my feed. The same exact thing happens with Wings. The clip pops into my feed, and if it happens to be something that looks interesting or piques my interest or has something to do with, something that I would be related to, I'll take a look at it. In this case, there was a thumbnail, and it was like, he lost like $2,000. And I was like, wait, that's old. Like, that's old news that he lost $2,000. That was months and months ago, and supposedly he already paid that back. So what the hell is this one? And so I click on it, and then the narrative begins of, oh boy, I got robbed by Kick and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And then I look into it, I'm like, Cypress says if he signed documents the day the kid was born, he would need a DNA test to prove the opposite. That's what I mean. It doesn't make sense. How could he have a court ruling? No one can just say, you're my kid's father, and immediately be granted a judgment, and now you have to owe them money. That doesn't work that way. There has to be some level of evidence that you're the kid's dad, whether it is the DNA test or, like you just said, maybe on the day the kid was born, you were at the hospital and you signed the document saying, yes, I'm the kid's father, the birth certificate or whatever, right? Something like that has to take place. No one can just accuse you of being the father of a child and then somehow get a legal ruling against you without evidence. It's just not possible, Like, I'll give you an example, all right? My wife and I got married in 2019, okay? My detractors, this is not an exaggeration, were actually trying to get the marriage annulled. I'm serious. They were trying to, get the marriage canceled, all right? And you can only go so far in a process like that until something has to happen. Like, you have to physically show up somewhere and prove your identity. You have to have a notarized document created with an actual legal notary involved saying, yes, this person did this. That has to happen, okay? So without that step of verification of identity or, that step has to happen at some point for a legal action to take place. Otherwise, it can easily be annulled. If something accidentally went through, it could just be annulled once it's realized, oh, nothing was actually checked properly. It's very similar to a police investigation where someone, oops, we mishandled a piece of evidence. So it doesn't even matter if you have a slam dunk case. If someone mishandled that one piece of evidence, that's the proper way to do it legally, the whole thing gets thrown out. So it's the same thing with any legal ruling. So to me, that's just crazy that this guy supposedly has a legal ruling against him claiming that he owes $9,000 for a kid that he says isn't his, but never once was there any kind of evidence that he was the dad. How does that make sense? It sounds to me like he made a mistake at some point, right? He made a mistake at some point that made him now fallible or liable. That's the word I was looking for this situation. But the question is, what was it? Because again, if he insists it's not his kid, look, you got give him the benefit of the doubt. What if it isn't his kid? Then how the hell did he get himself into this situation? That's crazy and scary to think that could happen. Kimikaze says, I'm pretty sure that's just how it works in his state. Kimikaze, let me ask you this question then. If that's how it works in his state, why is every single woman in California not claim that their kid has a baby daddy to get a free paycheck? Right? Why? If it's that easy, just say someone did it, go to court, get a ruling, and now they owe you money. Why would not everyone have done that? And then I love this. Here's what I absolutely love. Then someone says, who cares? So I gotcha. I've raised a valid point that everyone should address, and we should actually say, okay, let's figure this out. No, who cares? Oh, because DSP raised a valid point, an intelligent point, that your argument doesn't work. Oh, it's just the way they do it in that state. So then why is every woman not accused a man of being their baby daddy so they can get a free paycheck? Oh, who cares? Move on. Huh? Wait, no. Why are we moving on? Because I gotcha? Yeah, it's what I thought. Someone tipped me $1, says, did I ever have kimchi before? I had kimchi noodle dish. It was really tasty, but insanely spicy. Could be a fun DSP tries it. I'm sure they make less spicy versions. I have had kimchi. I've had kimchi as an ingredient in a dish, and I've also had kimchi just as in itself. I had a bibimbap, which is a Korean dish that has a whole bunch of variety of Korean cuisine in it, and one of them is kimchi. So I've had both. And the one that I had was not spicy. It was just fermented, but it wasn't spicy at all. Exactly right. Well, Kimikaze says if he should demand a DNA test to disprove all of this, if he's indeed telling the truth. You're right. So what's going on? I think that's where the confusion lies. People found all this stuff online. They found the legal ruling, right? They're finding the information about it. So if it's not true, why not just disprove it? And I think that's why people are accusing it of being real, is he would have already done that, right? What would have been the big deal about just getting your blood pulled? What's up, Casanova? How you doing, man? Do I miss reacting to K-pop? Do I miss it? No. Did it bother me? Well, not that much at first, but when literally every react was K-pop, 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 then it started to bother me, which I actually did tell Slayer because he was the person who was getting the private reacts done every month when I used to do them years ago. And then he started doing more variety of reacting, and I liked that. Like, he had me react to a bunch of stuff. He had me react to a documentary about prisons. He had me react to some food vlogging. I like more variety than the same. Like, I didn't mind learning about K-pop or watching the videos or hearing about the history of it and stuff like that. But when you're doing it every single time, it gets boring, right? Just like everything. Variety is the spice of life, correct? Seattle's Best says, you know that there's no point in refuting internet detractor theories. You're right, but when someone says you owe them $9,000 in court, you probably should refute that one. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff that people say about me, it's all bullshit online. It's just rumors and nonsense online. That's not even verifiable shit. It's garbage. It's, fluff based on theories, based on fucking tinfoil hat wearing nut jobs posting on Kiwi farms bullshit. So I don't care what nut jobs on the internet say about me. It doesn't physically bother me or affect me. It's like I said, you can say whatever you want about me, but when I go to the store, guess what? The money still clears. I still buy the groceries. I still take my wife to dinner, and I still have a good time in my life. It doesn't matter what the bullies online say. I'm still living good, right? So I don't care what the bullies say. But if there was a $9,000 and increasing ruling against me, I'd probably do something to solve that problem, because that's going to bite you in the ass. Oh, is that actually true? Frosted Shard says it wasn't that he owed the $9K, it's the amount he paid to date. Is that what it is? Because that's not how I read it. That's not how I read it at all. It's so dumb. It works so differently depending on where you're watching. When I'm on the desktop app, it works different than the way that it works here. No, that's not what it says. At all. It says new legal order debts as of 2/10/25. Okay? We're a total of, and then he has all these listed. And he said the grand total came to $8,800.08.11, but then at the top he says total of $9,980 because it also now includes January 2026. Like, he has a running tally of the debts against him. That does not say what he's paid. That's the debts against him, meaning that is a court that keeps ruling that he owes that money and he's not paying it. That's what this means, at least in the wording that he put. You don't know. He typed it. You know what I mean? So you don't actually know if it's legit or not, or you know what I'm saying? But that's what that would be saying. Pull up the court documents. I don't have court documents. I'm looking at a video on YouTube. Pull up the court documents. Anyway, okay. All right, guys. So, good news is we have selected several games for the upcoming Retrothon. All right, we've got Double Dragon 2, Star Fox 64, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition on Genesis, Luigi's Mansion, Soul Calibur 2, and Streets of Rage 2. Again, I would like more feedback. What do you think should be the next game or games that I should play during that? I want to get maybe like 10 to 12 games that we could play during the marathon, because I'm not going to be playing them all super long. Maybe I'll play some like half an hour to an hour, okay? So that'd be cool. All right. So last chance, if you'd like to ask me a question, do a little bit of Q&A before we end the show, and then we move into Hollow Knight for the day, which I'm very excited for. New Horizons would be fun. Yeah, someone had mentioned that New Horizons game, I guess, was a part of an ongoing series that was very prominent back then, but I never heard of it. Yeah. GoldenEye. Didn't I already play GoldenEye? Wasn't there a modern remake and I played it? I feel like I've already played GoldenEye before. Am I the tallest person in my family tree? Let me think about that for a second. I'm taller than my parents. I'm taller than my uncle. And I'm taller than well, hold on. One of my cousins is really tall. Here's the problem. There's a huge age gap in my family. Okay? So my uncle is way older than my mom. Okay? So when my uncle had sons, my cousins, they're all way older than me. So when I was growing up, I always remember them being way taller than me, but that's because I was a kid. They were adults when I was just a kid, you see? Now, since I've become an adult, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them since I was like a teenager. So because of that, I don't think I can even answer the question. You know what I mean? I don't know about my uncle's side and his sons, if any of them were taller than me or not. Sounds like someone outside is revving up a machine. Hold on, it might be the landscapers. The landscapers are right outside my window trimming a tree. Like, oh, that's kind of loud. I guess I should close the window. No, it was not LTG outside of my place with a chainsaw. No, it was the landscapers. Don't worry. You couldn't hear that? You couldn't hear that? It was loud. That shit was really loud. I mean, seriously, if you didn't hear that, my filters are way better than I thought. Who's taller, me, John Rambo, or Howard? Me. You did hear it? Okay. I don't know what a thug shake is, so no, I can't thug shake. Sorry. So yeah, anyway, getting back, because I got distracted. Getting back to the subject, yeah, I haven't, spent any time with my cousins from my uncle's side since I was like a teenager. And at that point, I don't think I was taller than them because I was still growing. And I can tell you on my dad's side, yeah, I'm taller than my dad. I'm taller than my aunts. I'm taller than pretty much almost everyone in my family. It's kind of weird, right? By all rights, I should be shorter than I am. But I'm 5'11" for some bizarre reason. What's my Wendy's order? Well, next week when we go to Wendy's for DSP Tries It, it will be the new Wendy's chicken tenders with all of the dipping sauces. I'm going to order every sauce. So that way we can try every single one with the tenders. And I'm going to see what else they got. I think they have like a snickerdoodle shake. I don't think I want that. I'll probably get a burger just in case the tenders aren't that great. That way I'll have a burger to eat too. But that's probably it. If you're asking if I just went to Wendy's regularly, what would I get? Let me think. Probably just a single, like a Dave's single. I used to love the Big Bacon Classic, but they got rid of it. And then they brought it back, and it's completely different. They did. They brought it back, and it's like not the same sandwich anymore. I Vale OVIP, thanks for a €5.49, whatever the euro change is, super chat. He's bringing up some drama about LTG, or about RTU. I don't know anything about that, nor do I care, but thanks. So for the record, when people say, hey, Phil, why don't you put your chats on your screen like your detractors do? Because someone right now is trying to dox. Like, no lie. It's wrong. It's hilarious because all the information is wrong that they just put up. But people, like, this happens all the time. People will come and try to dox. People will come and put racist stuff in there to try to get me in trouble or whatever. I can't put the chat on the screen. It's just not possible. Yes, people in my family went bald before 30. All my cousins did. On my uncle's side, he went blind by 30, or blind, holy shit. He went bald by, sorry, I was thinking about, someone was talking about RTU and the blindness meme, and I got distracted. My uncle went bald by 30, and all three of his sons went bald by 30. Yeah. Well, I take that back. I think one of them passed away in his late 20s, but he also was bald at that point too. So everyone on the uncle side lost their hair early on. Who was doxing? So, like I said, some idiot was posted in the YouTube chat, and I had to ban him. But that's what I mean. People try that shit all the time. What is my favorite sport? Probably American football. I think I could watch American football and understand it and enjoy it, but I just don't watch any sport because it's too much of a time investment. But when I watched it, I actually did like it. Who's my team? I don't have one. You would say, oh, it's the Seahawks, but no, I don't follow it, so I don't have a team. If I followed it, I'd probably be the Seahawks, who just won the Super Bowl, but I don't have one. It's very distracting right now. The guy cutting the things off this tree is distracting the shit out of me. I can't even pay attention to check because I just hear the revving constantly outside the window. So I'm gonna have to go on my break. Oh, will I be allocating a poker chip to LTG soon? No, that was a rare thing. That was a one-off. And if you haven't noticed, I don't care about review tech at all. I just don't could not care less about a single person on this planet than Review Tech USA. After I did that react and everything, I just don't care to learn about him, hear about him, talk about him. I don't give a shit. Completely insignificant to anything on this planet. So I just don't care. What's up, John? How you doing, man? It's not Leatherface. I have confirmed it's not Leatherface. It's just a landscaper out there. Is it true I got robbed at the grocery store? Because you looked at my channel, couldn't find any videos about it. Not really. I mean, yes, did something get stolen from me? Yes, but it wasn't like someone robbed me at gunpoint. It's a stupid story. So I had loaded up my cart with groceries fully. I was ready to check out. But then as I was heading to check out, I remembered I had left out one thing. So I was like, well, it's all the way on the other side of the store. Okay, I know exactly where it is. I could run, grab it, come right back, and then check out, as opposed to pushing this cart all the way across the store full of the groceries. So I'm just going to run and do it quick. So I put the cart to the side of the aisle, and the cart had all of my reusable shopping bags in it. And for the record, I had really good ones. I had bought them on Amazon, and there was some that were padded for, refrigerated goods, and there were others that were just, heavy-duty standard shopping bags. So I left the cart there. I ran across the store. Couldn't have been more than 120 seconds. Because it probably took me 40 seconds to get there, grabbed it, 40 seconds to get back or whatever. It was very fast, right? And I come back, I'm like, where's the cart? Gone. And I'm like, if someone just grabbed the cart, I thought legit that an employee may have seen it and grabbed, thought, oh, this is someone who abandoned their stuff. An employee might have tried to put it back. So I literally went from wall to wall in the store looking for the cart. It was just gone. So what must have happened? And by the way, at this point, they didn't have any security at the grocery store. Zero security at this grocery store, okay? So no one to stop you on the way out or whatever. So what ended up happening, someone must have seen that I had a cart, not only that it was full of groceries, but also that there was reusable bags in it, and thought, oh, if I'm going to steal a cart, this is the one. And just grabbed it and just walked right out the door with the whole cart of groceries and the bags. So did they steal the groceries from me? No, I hadn't paid for them yet. But did they steal the reusable bags? Yes, they did. And that's really it. So now, for the record, because I haven't told you guys this, that was 2 years ago I told you that story, I think it was. That grocery store, I'm not kidding, now has an employee at every exit that checks your receipt on the way out. And if you don't have a receipt, they tell you can't leave. And then, of course, people will probably still push through anyway. But they do have that at every exit. And now they have those gates, those metal gates that lock that you have to push through to get in. They have metal gates at every entrance and exit as well. Because I've told you guys, the crime out here has gotten so bad that every store is starting to do this now. And now stores as well that are seeing the high theft are locking up common items. For example, my local Target has all of the body wash, shampoo, and conditioner locked inside of cases. You can't even pick up a shampoo and look at it. You can't even say, I wonder what this body wash smells like, and sniff it before you buy it. It's locked up. That's how bad it has gotten here in the Seattle area of Washington. The crime is insanely high. Crazy high. I'm not saying that the grocery store upped security just because of my cart, but I'm saying probably it was a common occurrence. It sounds to me like people were literally just grabbing stuff and walking out the door of this grocery store constantly. So that's why they had to hire the people and put the gates in. What's the cause of the crime? I mean, that's debatable. If you ask the local politicians, if you ask the store owners, and you ask the citizens, all three will probably give you a completely different answer. I don't know about that either. I don't racial profile. I don't know. I don't know who the criminals are. I'm not the police, and I don't own the stores. I don't know. Capital punishment? Yes, capital punishment for shoplifting. If you shoplift, they arrest you, and they hang you by your ball sack upside down on a pole. That'll stop it. There you go. Why haven't we done that? DS politics. Oh, the politics of Darkside Phil. Yes, I used John Talbane, the werewolf in Darkstalkers. I did use him for a bit, yes. All right, folks. I do think, like, by the way, we stopped playing the music because I started reacting, and then I forgot to turn it back on. I think it's time to end the show. We've had a long one. It's a good one, though. What I really want is I need more feedback. We're almost there to locking in the games for the marathon. We've got a few great suggestions. I'd like a few more. Again, if people watching this could leave comments about the retro games that we saw on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack platform there, let me know what you want, and we could go from there. Let's get more suggestions and lock it in, and then we can say, here's the games, here's the date. I'll make the art. We'll start promoting. We'll get hype for the next marathon. Okay? Okay. Well, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed today's show. I had a good one. Thank you for watching the Level 1 Podcast. When we return on Friday, it'll be weekending fun, summarizing everything that we've done. It should be a good time. I hope you'll join me on Friday morning. In the meantime, I hope you'll check out all the gameplay and even tomorrow's morning show. Peace out, everyone. See you then.